Welcome back to Cinema Corner. I'm Blake, and I'm here with my co-hosts, Alex and Josh.
And we're back with Cinema Task Volume 2. Now, just to recap, I gave Josh Gone Girl last time. Josh gave Blake A Star is Born, and Blake gave me Top Gun Maverick. So here we are giving our reviews for all three of those films. Gentlemen, who wants to go first?
I gotta hear Top Gun Maverick.
What?
Gotta hear.
I can't be going first every single time.
You didn't go first last time.
I did go first last time.
I went first last time.
I feel like I go first a lot, but it's okay.
No,
Fine, whatever. Okay. Okay. Well, let me give context, right? This movie is a 96% of Rotten Tomatoes. Universally loved. Blake loves the shit out of this movie. His favorite actor currently, Glenn Powell, is in this movie. Tom Cruise is in this film. Save cinemas, right? That's what he likes to say. And it's come out in 2022. We are currently... I watched this 2 days ago, so it would have been December 2024 still. So that was 2 years that I went without watching this movie. And was I overreacting? Potentially. You know, this was actually pretty good. I gotta say, it was pretty good. I'm gonna be blunt. I went into this begrudgingly because I was just like, I don't know why. Like, I was just trying to be a hater just to be a hater. And yeah, it shut me up pretty quick. I was like, okay, these sequences are pretty fire, actually. And I've never seen the first movie, so I mean, I've heard, like, I know of it, like I know certain plot points and stuff, but I've never seen it from start to finish. So I know Top Gun, like I know Maverick, I know Iceman, I know Goose and stuff like that, but I never knew like what actually takes place in that film. So I went into this completely blind, and I'm curious to watch the first one now. So as a sequel, I'd say it did its job with me, like just going in blind as a new person introduced to this franchise, if you will. And I enjoyed it. The story was well written. It was shot amazingly. Like, dude, the sequences in the fucking in the jets are just crazy. The casting was fucking wild too. I mean, you got Tom Cruise, Miles Teller, Glenn Powell, Jennifer Connelly. Everybody in here was fucking bringing it. And it's still wild to think that I went 2 years without watching this film. And part of me is actually glad that Blake finally gave it to me. You know, like in hindsight, it's actually pretty good. I mean, do I really need to say what happens in the film? Because I feel like we all know what happens in the movie.
I mean, everyone's seen it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to skip to my rating of it. I'm going to give this an 8.7 out of 10. This was a really good film, and I feel like if I go again and rewatch this movie down the line, which I think I probably will, it may even increase in the years to come. But yeah, pretty good movie.
Ball don't lie.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I admit it. So yeah, good movie.
It's what Tom Cruise does. I guess I can go next. I had A Star is Born. Josh gave me it. This is obviously Bradley Cooper, and is this Lady Gaga's kind of like actual acting debut kind of movie for the most part?
I do, but we can say so.
Yeah, no, it is.
It's her big one. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody can fact check. It was her first ever appearance in a movie, ever, no doubt, no question. This follows Bradley Cooper as a somewhat aging musician. He's not like super old, but he definitely isn't like at the height of his fame. And he is kind of battling addiction with alcohol, as well as having tendonitis and kind of losing his hearing. Along the way, he stumbles into a bar and sees Lady Gaga perform. Allie was her name in the movie. Sees her perform a song in all French or Italian, don't remember which one right now, in a drag bar as well. And then he's like, yeah, I'm interested in, I kind of got to meet this girl. And so he has Lady Gaga's friend in it, played by the one and only Anthony Ramos. Guys, Guy's a great all-time side character of all. Okay, he's a legendary side character.
Is, dude.
Twisters,
he appears, bro.
Hamilton, Transformers. He just shows up and he's side character and he knows his role. He plays his role well. Okay, he's not the star of the team. He is the best number 2 player in the league, though. Okay,
Badass, bro. He's Pippin.
He is. So he plays that. Allie is a character who she does some singing, but she doesn't really do anything professional, as she's like, oh, nobody really is gonna like me. My nose is too big. That's a big point of her thing as well. Eventually, her and I can't remember Bradley Cooper's name right now in the movie.
Jackson.
Jackson. Yep, Jackson Maine.
I had
her and Jackson go on a couple dates, and he basically becomes like obsessed with her, and it's like, okay, we should perform together. We should do stuff. Like, I just want to be with you. And she's like, nah, I can't perform. He's like, I have a show tonight. Come out, perform, or just come out and listen to me. And eventually, she and Anthony end up taking out his plane, flying their meeting. And he's like, yo, we're going to sing that song that you drunkenly sang to me the one night. We're going to go perform it real quick. And she's like, nah, I can't. And he's like, well, I'm going to start singing it. You're going to need to show up. She eventually shows up. She sings. It's great. That's the Shallow song that became very popular after that movie came out. And from there, it kind of follows. Allie kind of begins her own stardom as they perform together. She gets discovered. And then you kind of get the battle of she's now a rising star. Well, Jackson is still, like I said, kind of fading. He's dealing with alcohol as an issue. He's losing his hearing. And she's just kind of growing to fame. She's kind of becoming a pop singer, which I was surprised about. During the movie, I was like, wait, is this based on Lady Gaga's story? Because I was like, she was singing these songs that weren't like pop related. It was just like, obviously Lady Gaga has a phenomenal voice. And then they were kind of like, her management was pushing her to like, oh, pop songs and like have dancers. She's like, I don't really know if this is me, but like, I'll kind of do it. And I was kind of like, is this based on her? I didn't fully understand that until after I looked up. It's not, but it had me confused in the moment. Long story short, you know, he finally has a big moment where he's like, I need help. So he goes to AA, whatever. He gets out of it. And she kind of had her reputation a little bit messed up based on what he did to kind of mess things up. But she still is like undevotedly just, he's the love of my life. Like, we got married. Like, we're going to figure this out. And her management's like, you got to get away from this guy. He's going to mess up your whole life. So her management tells him like, yo, you're going to ruin her. Like, you suck. And she's like, oh, let's perform like one more time. And he's like, yeah, no, I'll be at your thing. I'll be there. Don't worry about it. Also, Sam Elliott is a part of this movie. Didn't know he was a part of it. He showed up. It's like, man, what a cast. What a cast we got going.
He was good in that film, man. He was good.
Sam Elliott's always good.
He was really good, though.
Yeah, he was. He's classic. Anyway, she goes to perform. He decides to hang himself. And that's just kind of the way the world works. You know what I mean? R.I.P. Jackson Maine. Then gave the dog a steak, though, before he did it.
He did.
Good guy.
When he knew it was over. So as soon as the steak came out.
Yeah, as soon as he had a steak on a plate and he just puts it on the ground for the dog, you're like, ah.
Yep. It was
good
a big
night.
Steak.
Good night.
Wow, did not know that would happen. Interesting.
Yeah.
It's
sad.
a depressing movie.
It is a depressing movie. It's sad. She then blames herself. She's upset about it. His brother, Sam Elliott, tries to tell her, like, this isn't your fault. Like, this is no one but Jackson. He had his own stuff. And basically, that's the end of the movie. From there, she performs a song. I cry. I cried so goddamn hard. So hard. Okay.
Got him!
I cried so hard when she was singing that. The song is amazing for what happened. It's a little too on the nose, which kind of pissed me off while I was crying. I was like, this is so on the nose for the moment, but it's getting me. And it's because she's such a great singer. And the movie ends, and you question your life.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster of a movie. Like I said, I was not expecting it to be as... I genuinely, during the movie, was like, is this based on Lady Gaga? Because, like, she was discovered, and then she was like, oh, my nose is too big. Like, I'm gonna have to be more of a songwriter. Like, I don't have the visual appearance to be like a star. And then they're like, oh, you gotta do pop songs. You gotta have dancers and all this stuff. It's like, whatever, you know? So that was kind of a surprise to me that we didn't hear her sing as much of other kind of songs, more alternative or whatever, rather than like pop songs in the movie. Also, Bradley Cooper. I don't know if that's actually him playing the guitar and singing. I just have to refuse to believe it is. Because if it is, that's crazy. He was so good. The scenes of him playing guitar, there's not a whole lot of them, are phenomenal. Him singing his songs Also different than what I thought. Personally, I would just think it's more like country vibes would be what I would kind of guess for Bradley Cooper. But these aren't. These were definitely more kind of that like alternative-ish kind of vibe. And they were phenomenal in that. I definitely, like I said, he's no Miles Teller in Whiplash, learning the drums himself. So definitely imagine there's some zoom in on just the fingers of somebody else kind of thing going on. But yeah, I wasn't expecting the music to be quite the way it was. It was obviously really good. Lady Gaga, phenomenal singer. So obviously anytime she sung anything, it was good. But yeah, was not fully expecting this movie to go where it went until you got what's he kind of started telling the one guy about him trying to hang himself when he was younger. I was like, that seems like that could come back up sometime soon here. And then as soon as he put the stake on the ground, the stake went on the ground. You knew he was going in the air. You know what I mean? And yeah. Overall, I definitely think this was a good movie. Was not expecting it to be as enjoyed as much as I did. I have to knock some points off for making it make me cry as hard as I did. Don't appreciate that one bit. So because of that fact, I'm gonna give it like a 5. I don't appreciate that.
Oh, fuck off.
No, realistically, this movie, I would say it's a solid. I think I said like 8.3 is what I gave this movie. I definitely enjoyed it. Like I said, the music was really well throughout the whole movie and kept me engaged. Definitely like kind of the beginning half more than the last half, I would say. Kind of like them growing together was definitely an interesting thing. But yeah, this movie was didn't know a whole lot about it, but it was good.
Yeah, it got me too. When I was done watching it, Joey's the one that had us watch this, and I said, fuck you. I'm not watching another movie you recommend for a while.
Yeah.
But what got me was when Jackson says real quick to Bobby, I always looked up to you. It wasn't Dad. And he just slams the door. I'm like, and he just starts reversing, crying.
Yeah,
it's like,
Sam Elliott just,
yeah. And I was like, fuck
no need.
you.
No need.
Fuck.
I'm changing my rating. This movie was a 4 out of 10. I'm never watching it again.
I just because I was curious, right? I asked Google, did he sing in A Star Is Born, and it gave me this. It said yes, he did sing in the 2018 film. He prepared by taking voice, piano, and guitar lessons for 6 months. He collaborated with Lucas Nelson, Willie Nelson's son, on it, and I guess he also modeled his voice after his co-star Sam Elliott. So that's a little tidbit on that. So I guess
He didn't play guitar though.
Apparently he did.
Nah. I'm telling you right now, I don't care what you see. He did not. It was
18 months of vocal training to achieve his character's voice in A Star Is Born. The singing you hear is actually him and is completely live and unaltered.
There you go. Well, that's also made up. There's no shot. Don't believe that either. That's false, but that's all just singing. That has nothing to do with his guitar because he was killing it at guitar at some scenes.
I'll consider that a major win for myself there.
It's a 3 out of 10.
This is getting worse.
Okay, it just makes it funnier because you're like, oh, Lady Gaga movie, fuck you.
I didn't say that. I was just like, what a weird choice.
Okay. My movie I got was Gone Girl. By the way, did you know this movie is 2 hours and 25 minutes? Did not know it was that long of a movie. I want to start off my review of this film that up until the last 20 minutes, this movie, it was snaking into the top 10. It was snaking. It was there. This movie, holy shit, was it amazing. My God, did it fumble the bag. I'm telling you, it was so good. I was so into this film. And the ending, it's literally, I'm telling you, man, it's Game of Thrones level. And then the final season comes in and just fucks your hopes and dreams for ever having a favorite TV show. That's what happened to this film. The cast is stacked with weird people. Weird as in just not what you expect for a cast for this kind of movie, but everybody was amazing. So Tyler Perry's in it.
What?
No idea. He appears, does great. Yeah, his character's funny, and I like this character. He does a great job. Ben Affleck, there's just something about Ben Affleck when he kind of just plays a normal guy in a movie. He's just so good at it. I don't know why, because he's this weird mix of hybrid where he's handsome, but he's not too handsome to just play a normal guy. and it works. As well as Neil Patrick Harris is in this. That was an out of nowhere one. Yeah. Yeah. So also Emily Ratatata, whatever her name is, the one that is Gibby's girlfriend. She's in this too. She makes a weird appearance. Yeah. Everyone. I'll be honest. The main actress. I don't know her name. I recognize her.
Wasn't it Rosalind Pike? Isn't she in
Yes.
that one?
Yep.
Sure.
She's
awesome though. She was crazy good. Emphasis on crazy. Okay, this film. It starts off with, all right, Gone Girl. So you know something's going to happen to the wife. Okay, immediately. And it starts off immediately with this. Okay, husband, he goes out to a bar with his sister. And he's like, it starts off the film kind of building up that they're obviously in a failing marriage. He just doesn't care for his wife anymore. The sister hates the wife. It just seems like, okay, you know something's gonna happen to the wife. She's just gonna get kidnapped, and like the husband kind of has to like, is he gonna like regain his love or something, or is it kind of like just more depressing that now he has to find a wife he doesn't love anymore, right? Comes home, doors open, glass is shattered, wife is gone. So he calls the cops. Cops come over, and this one kind of starts off as it seems like it's a kidnapping. That's what it's playing out. So it's like, oh, she gets kidnapped. Okay, so she's not killed, she's kidnapped. And it kind of alludes to this. And while this is kind of happening, like for the first like 30 to 45 minutes, it's kind of like building, it's showing like flashbacks of their relationship, of how like it was really good in the beginning, it's starting to fail. And so it's really alluding to the fact that it's just kind of a sad story that this husband who's not in love anymore has to now find his kidnapped wife. And that's what you think it is. And that alone it's really, really good and super interesting and really well fleshed out. Then things start getting spicier. We find this letter that says Clue 1, and the husband's like, oh, it's on their anniversary when she gets kidnapped. And the husband's like, oh, okay. Clue 1, yeah, she likes to leave like scavenger hunts on their anniversaries. So he thinks nothing of it. Well, of course, these clues mean something more than just a normal scavenger hunt. We end up finding out that it goes from the wife is kidnapped to the wife is framing the husband for murder. Huge jump. And so then it's both the cops are getting to the point of, hey, they don't think this is a kidnapping anymore, to we think this is that he murdered his wife, to the husband realizing slowly as well something's wrong, and then to the finally of, oh my fucking god, she's framing me. She's framing that I killed her. And that's when it reaches the peak, and it's so fucking good. So good. She has so many things, and while in the background she kind of like narrates a little bit of their like marriage, things start to get darker and darker as more of the framing gets revealed. And she starts talking about how like he didn't want to have kids and that he physically abused her and she was scared for her life. And then so you start thinking, oh, and she also finds out that he was cheating on her, having an affair. So you're kind of just thinking, oh, hey, this wife just wants some crazy ass revenge, and you're just totally on her side. You're like, yeah, fuck that man. And you're just a badass. You went unhinged, go off, queen. That's what you're thinking in the film. Then, another twist in the movie. There's a lot of twists, and this is the final twist. Well, second and final twist. You realize that she's crazy. She's not being a badass. Now you don't know what the truth is. Because now the husband starts revealing stuff to the sister, which is also revealing stuff to the audience, that she's been lying to you in her narrations. And now you don't know who to trust. Do you trust the cheating husband, or you trust the wife that's been narrating to you the entire film? Which is a really fun kind of aspect that is unexpected in this film. And it really makes you engaged with it. So now you don't know who you side with. You don't know what's the truth. You don't even know if that scene that it shows of the husband pushing her and she hits her head is even real anymore. You have no idea. She says that, oh, he didn't want to have kids. He pulls out a report where he had his sperm tested to see his fertility rate. And then that's when we're like, why would he do that if he didn't want kids? Yeah. Then it starts getting further into the framing of, we end up seeing now things kind of fully crack, and we see her whole plan of how she planned it out. We find out that she makes friends with a local neighbor that's pregnant, and she's a bit like loony, so that when she would go away, she would be constantly yelling at the husband saying, "What did you do to my best friend?" and kind of get the cops to start looking at her husband. Also, she's pregnant. So that story of her saying where her husband didn't want to have kids and that she got pushed down, she added a bit of element to this by faking being pregnant. She flushed all the water in the toilet, had her neighbor best friend pee in the toilet, steals the pee so that way she could have it on her medical records that she's pregnant. So now it makes the cops and the media take it more serious, because now it's public knowledge that it is a pregnant missing wife. And there's hidden debt. She did like $200,000 of debt in her husband's credit card to make it seem like now he has money issues. He didn't want to have kids, and now he has a pregnant wife. And on top of that, the affair gets announced to the public, because the person he was having an affair with gets mad about the fact that his wife was pregnant and all this other shit. So all this comes out at once now, really pointing towards the husband's fucked, and it looks like he actually killed her. And he did it. And then we find out the final thing is that she poked an IV and did a shit ton of blood on the floor and sloppily cleaned it up to make it look like she died there, and dragged her hands across it to make it look like she got dragged away. And then the final clue we find out she leaves is she shows basically evidence of where all this debt stuff, all these things that he bought, because he's obviously telling the cops, he didn't buy the shit. Has the cops get lead there. We hit the climax. He gets arrested. Everything looks downhill. While this is all happening, though, obviously the wife is away. Whatever bullshit. She just starts to, it's weird scenes over there. She finally comes back, and this is where Neil Patrick Harris's character comes in. He's apparently like an obsessed ex. Long story short, she kills this guy. She finally murders a dude, and then she comes back to the light because she wanted to see her husband again. And this is when the movie gets bad. It gets to a point where you're kind of hoping either the wife is going to win or the husband's going to win as well, because you also find out that she did this to other guys as well. The husband goes to her ex-boyfriends where she did fake rape charges on them, and they tell their stories. So it's kind of also another element of, hey, are these exes telling the truth? Or is it like, guys don't want to believe women's stories? Either way, she kills this ex. She comes back to the light because she wants to come back to her husband. And when she comes back, she's like all bloody, and she pretends like her ex that was obsessed with her is the one that actually kidnapped her, and her husband's innocent. Comes back. Even when she comes back, Ben Affleck's character like hugs her and like whispers in her ear, and he says, "Fuck you." And it's a kind of funny scene. Okay, so you think now that like, hey, husband would go to the public or something? Something's going to happen. Is she going to kill him? What's going to happen now, Because we want somebody to win this side. None of that happens. Instead, they decide to stay married. They somehow become just this weird controlling relationship with each other, and they just stay married for the rest of the movie. And then it ends. Nothing happens. This is with knowing that one of the detectives figures out the truth, because obviously when she comes back, then the detective is like, this shit doesn't make sense, and talks to the husband, and the husband's like, I told you so. Like, I didn't do it. She was framing me. The lawyer that he has obviously believes him now because she's back. Everyone believes him, but nothing happens. The detective just gives up and says, yeah, nothing we can do about it. The lawyer says, he literally makes a joke saying, you're like the most fucked up people I know. And he leaves. There's just no ending. There's just no conclusion. They come back, and then they pretend like this is how they love each other, is that they're like abusive and controlling of each other. Even though the whole first half of the movie, you just see Ben Affleck is kind of like just one of those lazy bro husbands. He just likes to play video games, drink with his buds, and he just didn't kind of care about her anymore. He wasn't abusive, he wasn't controlling, but somehow at the end you're supposed to believe that he's abusive, controlling, and really loves this weird dynamic they have with each other. And then yeah, that's the movie ends. So it's pretty pointless.
So if you had to put like a minute on it, or like minutes on it, how long was that like ending? You know, where it's like you started to realize, wait a minute, this is a shit ending.
It's the final 20 minutes. Like it takes a really quick turn. Like all that stuff happens super fast. Like she quickly comes back to this ex-boyfriend, quickly like frames it. She like even like wraps ropes around her wrist to like give her scars to frame him of this kidnapping. Does some grosser stuff too as well to like fake things. I don't want to say. And kills him. And there's just nobody cares. The only real character in this movie is the sister, because she at the end is saying, "Are you seriously staying with her? Like, what the fuck are you doing?" And she's like in tears, having a breakdown, saying, "This is fucking crazy." Then yeah, it ends. So I don't know. It's such an awesome plot, such an awesome story, and then the final 20 minutes, it's like they didn't know what to do, and they just chose the worst ending somehow. You just had to choose one of them to win. Yeah. So I give this. Legitimately, it was like at the 8.9, I'd say even almost 9.0 till that final 20-minute mark. It drops down to a 6.9 out of 10 for me. It just, yeah, it's rough. Sorry I rambled on that long, but I just feel like you have to tell the whole story to understand how bad the final 20 minutes is. Because it's really highly reviewed, this film is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
so I don't know how so many people like the ending, because I hate it. Nobody wins.
How long is the movie?
It's 2 hours and 20-ish minutes.
So for 2 hours of the 2 hour and 20 minutes of the movie, you're enjoying it, and then 20 minutes you didn't enjoy it. So it's like probably to people reviewing it, it wasn't enough. Like the ending wasn't bad enough for them to be like, yeah, this sucks.
Endings matter so much in like these kind of like mystery-ish horror films like this. Like the ending has to land. Otherwise, it's pointless of watching all before you saw.
Agreed.
It's based on a book?
It is. Yeah, very popular book. Now, I don't know if the book ends that way too. Maybe that's something that's different. If the book ends differently, that I get why the book's popular.
I agree. If you don't stick the landing, then what was the whole journey for?
Yeah.
I get the journey is fun too, but it's like if you make a horrible ending, it impacts what the journey is looking back on it. It affects the movie. It affects the TV show. It affects whatever. I agree.
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess this is the recommended part. So, Alex, I have you. Now, this movie, there's a chance you've seen it. Really hope you haven't. Have you seen Seven?
You mean with Brad Pitt?
Yes.
Yes, I have.
Okay. I
don't know if you have.
Yes, I have.
Can you just give me a movie? Oh my god.
Have you seen American Psycho?
Give me a second. Let me Google. Oh yeah, I've seen American Psycho. That has Christian Bale in it. Jared Leto's in that one. Willem Dafoe's in that one. At the end of it, he kills Jared Leto. At the end of it, he's on the roof of the building, and you can't quite know whether or not he actually did the things or he didn't. Yeah.
Okay. Challengers?
The tennis one?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Challengers it is.
Oh yeah, Eiffel Tower, baby.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Josh, I don't know what to do for yours, man. That's a battle.
What do you?
I've got about 3 in my head.
You got 3.
And I think it's kind of crazy because as you were talking about Gone Girl, I thought about 7 to give you. So the fact you mentioned it was even crazier to me.
7's
I was like,
good.
Maybe he hasn't seen it or not. It's a tough one, you know?
Well, I eliminated 1 for you. So.
You did. So now I got 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do it. It's a little bit whatever. Den of Thieves. Second one's coming out. You haven't seen the first one. You gotta watch Den of Thieves.
I have not, and if I have, it's like 20 minutes of it with my parents.
Yeah, Den of Thieves.
Wait,
I'll
it
give
came
you
out in
that one.
2018? No, I have not seen
Like-
this movie at all.
I thought it was 6. I thought it was fun.
It came out in 2018.
Really?
That's a lie. I thought this movie was like in the 2000s. Like,
I do too. That's
I thought this
insane,
was
2018.
2015.
Yeah, that's
Guys.
way too recent. That is
Guys,
way
yeah,
too.
that is.
That's crazy.
I have not seen it.
All right, there you go. I'll give you Den of
Okay,
Thieves.
hey,
Second
well,
one coming out
well.
soon.
Dude, I thought this movie came out like 2004 or something like that.
Oh, what?
Like,
2004.
I thought.
No,
It's
I
Ocean.
thought
It's
this game.
Ice Cube's son stars.
I didn't know that. I think I was confusing it with some other movie for fucking what's his name, for Gerard Butler.
Could you have thought that it was? Wait, why is this movie popping up? 999?
What was
Doesn't
that?
sound
What
right.
did I think it was, dude?
Well, that's
Maybe I'm
gonna do it
just
for this
confused.
video. As always, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next one.